So if you're anything like me, I used to only order artichokes in restaurants because they were a little too scary to deal with. I mean, look at them. You see them at the market, they look like these hard, pokey cactus things with little spikes. But I finally learned how easy they are to prepare and eat. So today, I'm going to conquer your fear of the artichoke. Now when handling raw artichokes, be really careful because these spikes are actually really sharp. So if you're a little nervous, just use a kitchen towel. So start by removing all these little excess leaves over here. Just clean off the bottom. And then we're going to cut about 1/3 of this artichoke, getting rid of this tight area on the artichoke so we can get rid of all those spikes. And then using kitchen shears, you just want to cut off the tip of every petal so you're removing the spike. Once all the spikes are removed, we're going to pay attention to the stem down here. Now artichokes are actually flowers that haven't blossomed, so this part is really thick and fibrous. So use a kitchen peeler and just clean it up. Remove all those blemishes and get rid of that top layer. And then this part should only be about 1 inch long, so remove the excess. And then be sure to rinse your artichoke under cold running water to get rid of all that debris and dirt that sometimes hides behind the petals. One of the easiest and most traditional ways to prepare an artichoke is by steaming it. So here I have a pot with just a little bit of water and I'm going to put my steam basket in there. A great tip is to cover your pot with a lid. This is going to allow the water to boil faster. Alright, so it looks like the water's boiling. So now I'm just going to add our artichoke. Shut the lid, then reduce the heat to simmer. Now it's going to take anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes to steam your artichoke, depending on the size. But after about 20 minutes, you want to start checking it every 5. So this artichoke has been steaming for about 30 minutes, so I'm just going to check it. And don't forget, the leaves are going to be very hot, so use tongs or a kitchen towel to peel it off. You know your artichoke is ready when you can easily pull off the petals. Be sure to allow your artichoke to cool before you start eating it. Another great way to prepare an artichoke is by grilling it, but I'm going to show you how to roast it in the oven at home. So take your clean artichoke and cut it in half lengthwise. Look how pretty that is. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees and then put your artichoke halves cut side up on your baking sheet. Now a great tip to prevent your artichokes from browning is to squeeze fresh lemon juice all over the artichoke. Then brush your artichoke with some olive oil. And be sure to brush the whole thing, front and back. And then we're going to season them with salt and pepper. Then pop these into the oven for 30 to 50 minutes or until you can pierce the stem easily with a knife. So I heard this really funny story about a friend who didn't like artichokes because he said that they were too chewy and hard to eat. Well, then I found out that he was eating the entire petal, which is what you don't want to do. So for the record, I'm going to show you how to enjoy and eat an artichoke. So you take one of these beautiful petals and you actually just want to scrape that nice fleshy white part into your mouth. Now people love to eat these plain or with salt and pepper. I have a vinaigrette over here or an aioli. It's really up to you. So dip it in your dip of choice. And just scrape that little bit into your mouth, discard the leaf, and keep going until your heart's content. You know, Miss Piggy has a really funny saying about artichokes. She says that after all the trouble you go to, you get about as much actual food of eating an artichoke as you would by licking 30 to 40 postage stamps. Well, I don't think that's true, but I will agree that you really need 1 artichoke per person when you're serving them to guests. So the part you always find in your pastas and salads is the artichoke heart. So if you want to get to the heart, I'm going to show you how to do it. You start by removing all of the leaves, but you want to save these for later. When you get to these nice soft leaves, you're just going to grab them and twist and rip them off, exposing this hairy part right here. Now this is called the choke, and there's a myth that if you actually eat this, you will choke and die, but it doesn't taste that good, so you don't want to eat it anyways. So just take a spoon and slowly scrape out this hairy, scary choke and remove it and just leave behind that nice, soft artichoke heart. And voila, there's the artichoke heart, nice and smooth, tender and soft. So you can dice this up, put it in salads or dips, anything you want. Another interesting fact is that some people call artichokes wine killers, and that's because there's something in the artichoke that actually sweetens wine, so a lot of people don't like to pair them together. Be sure to follow all of these steps and you too will conquer your fear of artichokes. Leave us any comments or questions below and check out our other recipes using artichokes. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Brandy Malloy and I'll see you next time on Pop Sugar.